Welcome to the Sisters Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, and evolve. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through the arts. Sister, spiritual inspiration shared through Ayana. Welcome, my brothers and sisters. You are listening live to the Laugh Line. I was about to say the tour. The Laugh Line on the Sisters Speak Show. I am your host, creator, and producer, Ayana, and we are recording live from Dallas, Texas. It is going all the way up this evening. My brothers and sisters, we have a very special guest. Oh my goodness, the Sister Speak Show is just really on and popping, and I'm so excited about tonight's special guest, my brothers and sisters. I'm so excited to talk to you all on this Friday evening because, you know, on the Laugh Line, I get to cut loose. Okay? It is really going to be an episode that is going to have you laughing, thinking, and just leaving feeling overall just really blessed and encouraged and just feeling so good on the inside. So welcome to all of my first-time listeners. Welcome back to all of my regular listeners. This is what we're going to do, brothers and sisters. I'm just going to break it up for you because if I break it down, then, you know, it just won't exist. So I'm going to break it all the way up for you so you know why you're listening to one of what I consider to be one of the number one podcasts, my brothers and sisters out there. We definitely want you to add us to your listening shuffle, and we definitely want to be the flavor in your ear. On the Sister Speak Show, there are 6 segments, and on these 6 segments, my brothers and sisters, you can catch special guest interviews, live performances, in-studio interviews, as well as live on-location reports. The special guests who will be on the Sister Speak Show are dynamic, and they are phenomenal, okay? And they also are impacting the communities with their passions. The Sister Speak Show is a talk show that will keep your mind and your soul informed, energized, and encouraged. We are a cultural renaissance platform that influences a climate that is conducive to who you are and who you should be. No reckless entertainment, just responsible listening nourishment. We don't go dumb. We don't go dumb. We go wisdom on the Sister Speak Show, my brothers and sisters, and it's about making the known known. My brothers and sisters, my special guest this evening, Kansas City. Stand up. Oh, yes, he is a cruise entertainer. He is a comic. He is a musician. He is a thinking man. And he is my special guest. Brothers and sisters, Vincent Brown will be my special guest. Let's go ahead and give him a round of applause before he even calls in. Okay, brothers and sisters, so this is what we are going to do. We're going to take some quick commercial breaks, and then we're going to be back because we are going to definitely get this started. Thank you for getting your listening tickets. I hope your drive home is wonderful. I hope the groove is smooth. I hope everything is just going really well for you. Now, don't be giving everybody the finger and stop cussing everybody out. I can hear some of you all right now on the road giving everybody the business because you're trying to get home. But we've got you covered on the Sister Speak Show. We'll be right back. Okay, my brothers and sisters?
Listening to the Sister Speak Show is even easier now with the new abilities available from Spreaker Skill on Amazon Alexa. With Spreaker on Alexa, you can now listen to the Sister Speak Show from even more places from all around the world. You also have navigation control, fast forward and rewind podcast to make sure you never miss a second of your favorite show. And then you can ask for show recommendations like the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, and evolve. Brothers and sisters, we want you to listen live and on demand to the Sister Speak Show. There are 6 segments dedicated to serving you, my brothers and sisters. We have the platform, coming to the stage, the culture climate, the laugh line, the tour, and the search effort. Oh, the Sister Speak Show, where contemporary meets vision, sound, and action. A talk show for great minds that create, inspire, and evolve. Sister Good Things Professional Gift Works presents the Little Beauty Cuties audio-visual books created for young queens ages 3 to 12, just $10 per book. Written, illustrated, and narrated by Ayana Holloman. The first
Welcome back, my brothers and sisters. You are listening live to the Sister Speak Show. It is going all the way up, my brothers and sisters. So we're going to get right into it. You are listening live to the Laugh Line. We are recording live from Dallas, Texas. I am your host, Ayana. I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. There's some things that we got to talk about that we're going to continue to talk about. And I got a clip for you that I think that just would really set the show off, because I was thinking about you. I was like, should I do my sit down now before my guest calls in, or should I do it later? But then I realized that my sit down really occurs all throughout the whole Laugh Line. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we're going to do. I just gotta play this for you because why not? Are y'all ready? Do you watch Family Feud? Okay, so I watch Family Feud with Steve Harvey. I'm sure some of you all do as well. And it gives you opportunity to just explore the minds of people. You'd be surprised. People say some of the things that they say. And then you start to thinking about, well, who in the world would I have in my family be of the 5 that would actually be brave enough to go on TV and open our mouth for people to hear what actually goes on in our heads? Oh my goodness. So this family right here, after this ad, this family right here definitely has a member that they now have to look at with the side eyes. Not just the side eye, but the side eyes. Listen to this clip.
Welcome back to Family Feud. We got a good one. Fisher family, 137. Flowers, 72. Give me Anthony. Give me Troy. Let's go. Guys, point values are triple. Top 4 answers on the board. Give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H. Hector. Hector. Harry. They don't play. Tasha, let's just get it on.
Okay.
Give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H.
Herman.
Venus, give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H.
Howard.
Logic, give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H. Henry. Miss Queen, only one answer left on the board. If it's there, madam, your family wins the game. Queen, give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H.
Hewitt.
Good answer. Hewitt. All right, let's go. We still got one answer, Anthony. If it's there, again, your family wins the game. But this time you got 2 strikes. If it's not there, the Flowers family can steal and they win the game. Anthony, give me a boy's name that starts with the letter H. Jose. Jose and Herman. You're on a little slave run right here. Jose with an H.
Brothers and sisters. Okay, now, I know you've watched Family Feud. I've watched Family Feud. Now, honestly, Jose, though? And so, and that just makes you wonder about the people in your family. Like, who would you actually have lined up to answer questions out loud on national TV for the show to actually be in reruns? It could be a Family Feud marathon, and there you are with your family member, and he has said that a boy's name that starts with the letter H would be Jose. Ooh. It just makes you wonder, who are the people in your neighborhood? You know what I'm saying? So, who would you have be a part of your Family Feud top 5. I'm just saying, though, think about the people in your neighborhood and the people in your family. And, sometimes you just have to just sit there and say, no. And then sometimes you realize, well, maybe we just won't be going on the show at all. You know what I'm saying? Because, if you can't gather 5 people to come on the Family Feud, then you can't be on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, because who you going to call for the lifeline? Who would you call? You first of all, you got to make sure all your people's done paid the phone bill, so when you call them, it doesn't say, sorry, that the phone call that you're trying to make is not able to go through at this time. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't want to have to call somebody and they be like, no, I got you. And then next thing you know, they not really think that you're going to get to where you're supposed to get to as far as the tier. And then you actually make it. And then now they got to really answer. Oh, no. Sorry, bud. I ain't going to be able to do this one for you. That's really cold. So, I want to encourage everybody to really step their game up mentally, so you just don't have to be somebody where they be like, nah, don't ask him. Don't pass him the mic. Oh, no. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be the one that everybody cringes when it's time to read out loud. You don't want to be like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, brothers and sisters, when it comes to laughter, laughter is good for the soul. Laughter is something that really just takes us to a whole nother dimension. You can end up crying, laughing. You just end up just having just this moment of release. And that's what we want to do for you here on the Laugh Line. The Laugh Line is just really about, local, national, and international comedians, highlighting them, highlighting comedy, playing comedic clips and things like that, and just really just having a great time. You need it. You've been having a rough week. Some of y'all been having a rough season. You know who else has been having a rough season? The brothers who have to now wear sandals because it's hella hot. You know what I'm saying? Out here in Dallas, Texas, y'all done had to let them Caimans loose throughout the DFW. There are Caimans loose in the form of feet throughout the DFW. I'm serious. Some of y'all toenails look like y'all painted with fossils. What the hell? What type of polish would you like? I'd like prehistoric scales on my toes. Thank you, Ming Lee. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the release of the toes, the release, and it's just like your feet are shy. They're like, I can't take all this light and air. It's like sock gang. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so awkward for you brothers who always have these demands for the sisters' toes, and then y'all toes is looking like, you know what I mean, geographics from the Nationals. Brothers and sisters, calling in live to the Laugh Line on the Sister Speak Show is my very special guest. Give a round of applause for Vincent Brown. Yes, I did. It's out now. You good. You know what I'm saying? I got you. You good.
Okay. Now you notice. Look, check your clocks, ladies and gentlemen. I called 1 minute early. Yes, I did.
Yes, but it's 7:15 now, so you're right on time. You know what, Vincent? I just want to first of all say thank you so much for accepting this invitation to be, a special guest on the Laugh Line this evening. And it is quite an honor. I've been watching you. I've been watching your clips and your page. And I said, you know what? I got to have him on the show because you're you're unique, and that's what we need, because I know I'm definitely unique. I'm talking about very unique. So, I just wanted to just say thank you so much, and let's just get this interview started. First of all, how is your day going?
I'm sorry, how's it going?
Yeah, how's your day going?
It's going hot as a mother. Can I curse?
No, you can't.
Okay.
But if it slips, I can understand.
Okay.
But go ahead.
It's going hot as a mother.
Yeah. Yes, it is. You know what I'm saying? I was just getting on the fact that, a lot of brothers have had to release their feet. And there's a lot of Caimans loose this season because, the brothers aren't used to really releasing some brothers aren't used to releasing their toes. And I have just seen an onslaught of prehistoric samples.
Oh, shit, she dropped a prehistoric sample reference.
No, but I'm just saying that the heat is real, and a lot of people are trying to do everything that they can to stay cool. So, let's just get right on into the interview.
Hold on. Let's postpone the interview. The heat is, it's hotter for people who have improper diets.
Yes.
If you own a bunch of meat and a bunch of oink and a bunch of sugar, you're going to have problems because your body doesn't dispel heat as well as it was designed to dispel heat. Yes. Now I had to get that in there.
No, I appreciate that. And no, we can talk about whatever, because this is the Sister Speak show. This is the laugh line, and we just gonna go with the flow. You know, when it comes to the diet and everything, I'm with you, and I'm just always amazed at people who they say that water tastes nasty.
Oh my.
You know? I'm just like, okay, so you were in your mother's fluid for 9 months, and there's something about water that you need, and you just say it tastes nasty, and you're right. You know, I never thought about it like that the heat must be whooping people with improper diets.
Boy, yeah, see, you got your mind in the wrong place if you're talking about water tastes nasty.
Yeah.
It's medicine.
Yeah.
Okay? It's for your body. You know what I'm saying? I think people have the wrong concept of food. Food is entertainment for them, you know? True food is entertaining. There's an entertaining aspect of food, and quite as it's kept, food is sex to some people.
Yes.
Did we go there?
No, go there.
Food
Go
is
there.
sex to a lot of people. I've got a book about that, as a matter of fact.
Oh.
The connection between eating and masturbation. It's real. We won't go there.
Wow. But you know what, though? And a lot of people do take it out on the table. You know, I will never forget the time that this guy was telling me about his wife. She had gained, a lot of weight, and he was just like, she takes everything out on the table. She just takes it out on the table. And a lot of people do eat, are emotional eaters, so... That's a heavy load right there, pardon the pun, but that is, don't you start, but the thing about it is, and like I don't eat pork, you know what I'm saying? I have cut down. I don't eat a lot of red meat. I really, I can really flip some tuna in many different ways. But, I really just like to be healthy, and I like to be able to see things, and I like to be, I just don't want to look like I eat helium,
Swole, are you swole, girl? Are you swole up. Yeah.
I don't want to jump it.
And the food nowadays is different than it was like 20 years ago. All the growth hormones and everything, and especially in the black community, you see what, a lot of fried chicken, churches, KFC, all that stuff. All that stuff is filled with estrogen, and then so our young black boys are eating lots of estrogen. What does that do? Estrogen in a male body? Hello.
So now we have the male breast forming, and we have, altering their hormones. Now the testosterone is being compromised. It's a lot. And the progesterone, I hope I'm saying that correctly, is now being compromised. And, I just thought about it because, I was just thinking about, like, parents that like to feed their children chicken bones at 3 months. Like, look at him. Look at him. Look, he like it. He like it. And it's just like, oh my gosh. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let the child be a child. But, some of our people do not know how to, don't understand nutrition.
Boy.
That's just it. And they look at you. Don't let somebody, because you're in shape. I see you always walking and talking, and sometimes when you walk into some areas where our people are herded around, they look at your plate and they want to make comments about your portions. And is that all you gonna eat? And it's just like, whoa, food patrol. Hey, back up. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, why are you all in my portions? You know what I'm saying?
My plate.
And it's just like my stomach. Everybody's stomach is a certain size, and if people understood how small our stomachs really were, we would not pile so much food in our bodies.
Yeah, and then you can get away with it all year round until summertime. Summertime is going to tell on everybody. Summertime is going to tell on you. When I'm out there, 100-degree heat going, ooh, it's kind of hot, and you going, hold on you, bro.
You're right. You're so right about it. And then, it also affects your mind, and if you're not eating properly, then you're really not thinking properly. I had gained some pounds and for my stature being 5'1", I was like, enough.
5'1"?
I'm 5'1". Yes. Yes, I love it. I love it. I love being 5'1". It's a blessing. Trust me, because
you got the Napoleonic complex.
No, I don't. I am blessed with my height, and I don't have to make up for it. Yes, I'll kick your ass. You know what I'm saying? But that's natural. We all should be willing to want to defend ourselves and want to put forth a front to let somebody know, no, you can't cross me, whether you 5 foot or 6 feet. Look, you come this way, you gonna get a sock full of double D batteries. Do you want that? Yes, I'm not playing with you. You talk about the clumps. You ain't seen the clumps.
Where you from?
I was born in South Carolina, but I lived in the Bay Area for 25 years.
Y'all was double D battery in the Bay Area?
I mean, it's just, look, I was born in 76. Come for me, and then you'll think twice again.
She went old school. Damn.
Yeah, you got to get the jersey sock, like my brother's old school sock with the yellow stripes up top. The old school football socks. Those ones. They hold the batteries. Oh my gosh. But let's just get right into, what you do. You have so many aspects and so many talents. And
which is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
You have me billed as a cruise entertainer, comic musician, and you know what they say about a jack of all trades, master of, they say that thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's jack of all trades, master of none. I agree and I disagree with that. If you like, say you go real deep in one aspect, one area, and say you're like expert fried bologna sandwich maker or something. I mean, you could probably make a good living because that's your thing, But
right.
But as a person who's a multifaceted artist, well, I'm sorry, as an artist, I'm multifaceted, and most artists are multifaceted.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of what area you choose to put your creativity towards. That's kind of where it goes. Which, again, that's the blessing or a curse. I think my curse with it, I think many other people's curse with it also is I didn't have a mentor, and I didn't understand that you can't just spread it out, like spread all your seeds out. You got to harness it and build platform on, say, you're you're good at jacks or whatever, but you could build your platform from that, and then you can expand out of that. But you can't just a little bit of jacks, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's where you go wrong at. So
yes, and
you look up, you'll be 20 years old, and next thing you know, you're 30, and go, damn, what?
Right.
What happened these 10 years right here?
Yeah. No, for real. But, I was thinking about that, a jack of all trades and a master of none. And, I am always one to have to set the record straight for some of the things that people quote when it comes to other people's lives. Yeah. Now, if you hear that, a jack of all trades and a master of none, whoever came up with that quote was a hater. You're just a hater. You're mad because you're not multi-talented. And so you saw somebody handling their business and you saw them doing several different things and doing it well. And so you walked up and said, oh, you're nothing but you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. I could hear that pissy pricky Jay Cutler from the, Chicago Bears type. I could hear that little prissy voice.
Jay Cutler.
Yeah, Jay Cutler is very pissy and pricky. When I used to, when I was watching him play quarterback for the Bears, I was just like, oh my gosh, another tantrum, another one, Jay. So it's just like, when you hear people say that, they're just hating. You know what I mean? It is a blessing to be able to have several trades. And and there's no way that you could be a jack of them all. You're a master of them all because you're always constantly evolving and developing these talents and these gifts. So whoever said
Washington Carver was a badass,
and so it's just
Benjamin Franklin was a badass. He was an inventor. He did the kite thing. He was also went into politics, and he was just a badass. Benjamin Franklin.
But then I think about Benjamin Banneker, and I think about George Washington Carver, and I think about the brother who invented the stoplight, the comb, the hairbrush, the air conditioner, the washer, the dryer, the brother who performed the first open heart surgery. You know what I'm saying? I think about the brothers and the sisters who have collectively and have created and invented more than half of the things that we see going on today when it comes to being having so many trades. You know what I'm saying? There are so many people who through their lifetime have developed skills, and you wonder why you're doing what you're doing at the time, but it all begins to make sense as you journey, as you start to be able to handle the lessons that you need to learn with your mistakes and things like that.
Yeah, and if I could go back to 25 years old, and I see clearly where I won't say I went wrong, because I've had a great life.
Yeah.
I can see clearly where I would have turned left instead of right, in certain areas, I would have been more strategic about building a platform first, like instead of, because I was a music producer in the early to mid 90s, did some, and this is not bragging, but I'm just making a point, saying it to make a point.
Yeah.
Whatever I've done, I've been good at it.
Yes.
And there's people that know me like 20 years ago that know me as this, or people that know me as a drummer, or know me as a comic, and we get them all in the same room. They go, "Wait a minute, I thought you did this," and it's kind of confusing to some people because they see you as this and not that, But what I would have done was I would have built a platform first, and then expand it out into the other areas rather than just, drop that, go over here, drop that, go over here, And when I was a musician in Vegas for a while, played with the Drifters and the Coasters and stuff.
Wow.
But, times get hard, and you're like, well, maybe I need to do this for a while. Mm-hmm. Maybe I need to put the drumsticks down and start doing this. Mm-hmm. But then 5 years later, you forget what the plan is. Go, now, what was I doing again?
Right.
That's where the problem is.
Right.
So that, if I could say that to any young artist out there, you gotta, write it down, or you gotta have your plan together. Exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it, why you're moving to this. Because if not, your creativity is gonna lead you around blindly. You'll just be, like I said, 10 years down the road, you look back and go, what was I doing again? Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So. And when I think, and thank you for sharing that, because, brothers and sisters, you are listening live to the Laugh Line on the Sister Speak Show. My special guest, Vinz Brown. And we are definitely blessed with this interview this evening. One of the things I think is very crucial is reflection. And I think that reflection allows us to be, it's supposed to make us really be honest, like what you just said. If I would have done things differently and I think we all do that, when we look back and you're like, okay, I was in my 20s. For me, I think it would have been to gain more financial knowledge, understand credit, understand what it means to really pay on time. You know what I mean? Just developing skills that would have advanced me in my business. You know what I'm saying? So I think for all of us, we all are able to reflect and look back. And I think the benefit of it is that we can share it with the younger generation, the ones that are willing to listen. Look, you're at 25 when I was 25. This, that, and the third. So, you don't have to listen to me, but let me just plant the seed and say you're at a great time in your life where you could really make some crucial decisions that'll set you up for when you're 40.
Yeah, because the planet is based on economics.
Yeah.
The planet is based on money, and that's the other problem, I'll say problem that many artists have. Their world is based on creativity and not based on money. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's hard for me I didn't start thinking money till like freaking 5 years ago. It's
Right.
like, damn, you just now thinking about money? You know what I'm saying? I thought of it enough to
Right.
live and pay bills and stuff like that. But
Right.
I wasn't thinking about I need to be a millionaire by this time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't thinking like that.
Right. And but the thing about it is, a lot of times I think that's probably for your benefit, because then that enables you to develop your character. So when you do reach that, millionaire status, and when you do come into those extra commas in your direct deposits, you know how to handle it. You've seen enough, you've been through enough, and you've seen enough socially economic situations that have been completely effed up to where you're like, okay, I know how to handle this if this comes my way, because there were several days where it was real thin. You know what I'm saying? Where it was real dry. Or you've walked past some people where even though you were, may have been, not in the place that you wanted to be financially, that your heart still went out to somebody else that you saw that they were really struggling. And if you could do something for them, you would, but you didn't have it at the time.
Exactly.
A lot of the times that feeling is training us for the other people who are assigned to our journey, when we will have it and we will come into that type of situation, and we'll know that feeling. We're like, wait a minute, I remember this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a development for us. So when we get it, because there has to be a group of people that are not selfish. There has to be a group of people that are willing to be philanthropists and think about the village. There has to be, because there are so many people who make. I was watching the draft.
That was a heavy brick you just dropped.
Oh,
right there.
Thank you, my brother. And I hope everybody receives that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's about. But, I look at the people who make $153 million, signing these contracts. And it's just like, wow. Not to count anybody's coins and not to tell anybody what to do with their money. But there's nothing wrong with the power of suggestion, and just suggesting that, you share that your cup run over and that you help people out. I just think about so many people that would be in better positions if there were less selfish people in the world.
Yeah.
So,
I can't wait to be a quote unquote millionaire right now, because I'm gonna raise my level a little bit. Maybe a nicer car, upgrade here, maybe upgrade here, but then I'm gonna give away some stuff.
You have
That's
to.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to do.
You have to.
I don't need 7 Bentleys and all this. You know what I'm saying? I want to give away some stuff.
Right. For what? The thing about it is, if people want to know where the most effed up situation is, if you go into a black church, and I have to call this out, and I'm talking about on a Sunday. I ain't talking about people who actually know that you're supposed to, worship on the Sabbath. I'm talking about when you go into a black church and you're gifting the pastor Mercedes Benz while somebody just broke down, you know what I'm saying, 10 miles before they got to church, or you're in a situation where you have a benevolent offering, but you have to fill out an application to apply for the funds that you have tithed, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? And I just hate the fact, so when you look at those situations, there's something wrong with that, because we all should be eating. We all should have gas.
Yeah, I'm gonna go easy on the church thing. I could really go on the church thing, but
no, you don't have to go easy. Because I don't. You know what I'm saying? I have.
I'm trying to be nice on your show.
No, this is my.
But see, nice on your show. You want me to go into the church thing?
But see, the thing about it is, I don't hold back any punches, and I believe there's a way that you can say what you have to say, and if it's wrong, it's wrong, and if it's right, it's right.
Well, it's wrong then.
You know what I'm saying? It is wrong, and you have to say it, because I'm not here for anybody's feelings. That's not why I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here for anybody's feelings. I'm here to keep it 100.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to dealing with the church and seeing the pastor get richer and the congregation get poorer, I have an issue with that.
Let me tell you one of my church experiences. I'm just gonna open it up now. Let me tell you one of my church experiences. It's a church here in greater Kansas City, where I live today, and I was gonna do this guy had referred me to run sound at these people's church, and the guy wanted me to put together a proposal. So I put together this. Took me 4 days to put together a detailed proposal. Excuse me. One thing, I went to their service. Then I went to their choir, their choir rehearsal. I like listened to all the sounds and how the drums sound and how the choir sounds and where the microphones are and everything. And I took notes, took video, took notes. It took me 4 days to a week to put together this detailed proposal because, I mean, I'm a sound guy too, right?
Yes.
And I'm going into compression ratios and EQs and speaker placement. Now, I'm details on how to make your sound like in your church without spending a dime. He took my proposal and then didn't call me back. So anyway, but right after it took him like 5 minutes to explain to me why he's an honest guy. You can ask anybody. I would never mess with anybody around. You can ask anybody. It took me 5 minutes to explain why he's such a good guy, which that was my flag right there. So you know what? Anytime you think that I think you need to say that, that's, it's self-protection.
Yes.
It's told on itself, basically.
Yes. And a lot of people have so many stories, tragic stories of why they left, why they don't go back. And I just think that, the biggest thing is because I've been in it and now I'm out of it. I think that the biggest thing is that we cannot continue to reward pastors with cars and severance packages when their penis is out of control.
Okay. All I know is I grew leaps and bounds after I got out of church.
You better say it.
I thought that because when you're young, your parents tell you to go to church, so you go to church because they influence you to do that. But then you stop going, and then I got to be a grown person, and I felt that I needed something in my life. I felt myself evolving spiritually in my life, right? So I thought, all I know is church. Spirit, God, that means church, right? Went to church. And then I went from that church to another church, and then I don't really like these people. Went to another church, and then I just stopped going to church. And then within 6 months, my spirituality just jumped through the roof when I got out of church.
Man, and that's what what a lot of people, a lot of people look at you crazy, and when you say, this is not what I do, but this is what I do. See, I do believe in God, and I believe in Jesus the Christ. That's just the fact. I know who I am. See, I found out who I was. And when you find out who you are, you begin to start to take command and be solid as a human. And that's some things that you may not ever be able to learn in church. But the one thing that you can, on a cool day, you may be able to get some encouragement. Everything is gonna be all right. Okay, cool. Thank you. I needed to hear that. I can hear some good music. You know what I'm saying? I can hear some good songs. And especially if somebody's singing from the heart and not just singing because they trying to be on Sunday's Best on BET. You know what I'm saying? You can get that. But I'm
gonna say this, and this might not be right because I haven't edited before I thought to say it, but it's on my mind, so I'm just gonna word it out there. Then you correct it if you want to. I think when you go to church, there's something about being in church where you shut the switch off, the connection between you and God off when you go into church. There's something about, and when you're out of church, you cut it back on. It's like if when you shut off your natural God inside you to listen to pastor tell you how to get to what's already in you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go. I gotta go outside myself to figure out how to get to something that's already in me. But if you would just cut the middleman out and listen to the voice of God that's already with you, He walks with me and He talks with me.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
You're already there.
Hello. Yes.
You're already there, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
and fact, we're in church right now over the telephone.
Say it. Thank you, God. Thank you. Yes. And you know what? And then the thing about it is, sisters, I gotta say this part. Sisters, have you ever wondered why you dominate Sundays? Why the brothers are not there? They're not there. They're not there. The brothers, the real ones that know that there's something really jive about this man who is sitting here in the pulpit, they're not there. And you go to church every Sunday looking for a husband and trying to drag your bummy boyfriend, to church because it's Easter, because it's Valentine's, or because it's Christmas or Thanksgiving. Have you ever wondered why the real men are not there? Sisters, think about that. You make up all of the church. It's you and it's the pastor. And why is he not asking for you to bring somebody with you? Because he wants you all to himself. And he wants to be the man in your home. That's the truth of the matter. And we've got to...
I need to hit some organ right now.
I'm serious about these things, and we need to be honest. Where are the men? Where are they? And I'm not talking about the what we see going on that we know is not, there's some things going on that we all know, that we see with the choirs, that we see with certain situations. So where are the men, sisters? Where are they?
And it's ego. It's ego. It's huge ego. Just like entertainment business, it's a lot of ego. And you could tell people who's real and people who are just full of ego. Although it takes ego to get on the stage in the pulpit, it takes ego to do that. But a lot of people, entertainers or pastors, God entertainers, they're out of balance with their healthy ego and with humility. So and that's where a lot of people go wrong. I'm gonna swing the conversation back to entertainment. Watch this. Let's tie it together.
Yes.
When I was going into stand-up comedy, I took a quote from what Chris Rock said. He said he studied a lot of preachers, and I just started doing the same thing. And preachers are masters of entertainment. They're masters at it. They understand pace. Everything that's in stand-up comedy, they understand it. They understand pace. They understand notes and spaces, words and pauses. They understand angles. It's all master class entertainment. And they do. I do a lot of things that preachers do. Like when I'm on stages, when I was on stages on cruise ships, I would shoot from different angles. I would have what I mean by shoot from different angles. I'd come out, I have the microphone stand dead center of stage, then I talk from there for a while, and then I go to left stage and talk from over there for a while, and then walk all the way over to the other side of the stage and talk from there for a while. What that's called is you're manipulating the room. You're filling the room with your energy. When there's a subtle, unconscious dominance that I have over you, when I can make you look at me going over here, and then look at me go all the way over there, and then look at me go all. I'm controlling your energy. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's entertainment tricks.
Wow.
All the pastors do it.
Wow.
You ever notice this? Why do pastors? Listen to this. Why do pastors? They never rush in. They always come and go. Brothers and sisters, won't you turn your? They never rush in, right? Mm-hmm. They always start slow. Mm-hmm. That you're drawing the listener in. Mm-hmm. You draw them in, and then you take them on an emotional roller coaster ride, and then you orgasm at the end of the ride.
Yes.
And then you bring them back down and smoke a cigarette. It's all entertainment. They're masters of entertainment.
It is.
They're masters of dominating a room full of energy. They understand energy. So.
You're right about that. And oh my gosh, because I started, I started calling it the performing arts theater. That's what I started calling it.
Boy, yeah.
That's what I started. I was telling my husband, I was like, I just really consider it to be the performing arts theater because, now, a lot of people sit there and say, you girl, I caught the Holy Ghost. And I'm thinking to myself, well, who threw it?
Ooh.
Because the Holy Ghost is that you cannot catch the Holy Ghost. The Holy Spirit is nothing but the Word of God. It's the Word of God. It is the laws. It is the Word of God. So how do you catch that? And so you going in and you're doing your whole thing, and now we got to get the ushers and create a kumbaya circle around you, and you sweating and falling out, and you
entertainment.
That is
science.
Yes,
I learned this like 20 years ago. There's this very popular blues musician. I was living in Kansas City at that time. I was interviewing him, just like you're interviewing me. He said it then. It's a formula and it's science. When you know how to dictate to a crowd and control the energy of a room, you can take them on rides. It's all about transitioning from here to there. Transition is very important. And again, preachers and all those people, they understand the science of it. So you could create. Say, you know what? Say our service is usually from 11 till 1, but we want to get out at 12.
Right.
What am I going to do? I'm going to create the roller coaster ride shorter. I'm going to create it shorter, starting off slow and then speed it up and then drop it off fast, whatever. I'm going to create a shorter cycle, and then now, instead of 1 o'clock, I'm going to have them, quote unquote, orgasming at 12.
Right.
At quarter to 12 to bring them back down to get off the ride at noon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you do that again through science, the science of understanding crowd manipulation. That's
Yes.
all it is.
Yes.
Then you get the band in there. They do their dun.
Oh, that's it. That's it. Once you hear that, dun 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 dun. Once you hear that, that's it. That is it. You know what I mean? Get ready for, somebody who just cussed you out 30 minutes ago to start stomping all around. I have seen the run around. I've seen so much stuff. And this is how I know it's an act, because I have done it. I felt the pressure one time when we were called up at the altar. Put your hands up. This man was anointed, touching your head. Everybody's falling out, right? I felt the pressure. I'm like, well, shoot, if I don't fall out, they're going to think I'm a demon, right? So I'm like, I got to do something because, even though I didn't feel anything, I still got to make it look like I felt something, because they were like, dang, that anointed preacher from over there in the bottom of Kentucky sat there and put that holy oil on his hands and put his hands on her, and she didn't even fall out or scream. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And it's programming and conditioning, to do that.
And it is. And, and the thing about it is, it's just like, you sit back and you look at yourself and you're like, oh my gosh, how could I have really devalued myself and put on, because it's like, dang, I'm faking for God. I'm perpetrating for God. I'm not really, this is not real right here, what I'm doing. And see, a lot of people can't be honest right here. And I'm going to be honest about it because, I've been set free. And I'm not going to let you take any bullets and shoot me, my bullets, and shoot me with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to put it out there. So it's just like, I know that I have been in situations where I have stretched the worship, quote unquote, experience and embellished it, because, that's what everybody else was, that's just what was going on.
And this conversation we're having right now, this is what made me, conversations like this, what made me want to get into stand-up, because you can have conversation like this and drop insights and drop golden nuggets on people's head within a comic context.
Yes.
And it's looked at as funny. I mean, as comedy.
Yes.
Like Lenny Bruce. Richard Pryor drops some heavy stuff. Chris Rock drops some real heavy stuff.
Oh, yes,
yes. And those are the kind of guys I listen to, and that's why I want to get into stand-up comedy.
Yes.
I mentioned Chris Rock. Yeah, he's just a heavy cat.
Yes.
So I started to study. I started to read books on stand-up and then look at video and study video. I would study stand-up where I'm on the Chris Rock now. I'll say it again. I would go on YouTube and watch a Chris Rock video and then watch the whole thing again without the sound and watch it to see where the punchline is. You could see it. where the punchline is. And then I would go back again and listen to it without seeing the sound. You know, without seeing the video.
Yeah.
You know. So I was like that deep into studying the art of stand-up. And then on happenstance, I was living in Dayton, Ohio at this point. And by happenstance, I went to, it was reggae night in Yellow Springs, which Yellow Springs is like 20 minutes, south, or anyway, 20 minutes outside of Dayton, Ohio. I went to Yellow Springs, Ohio, which they have a very famous resident that lives in Yellow Springs, Ohio. Anyway, I'm at the club, reggae night, and look who walks in. Dave Chappelle walks in the club.
Wow.
So, yeah. So Dave Chappelle walks in the club, grabs his old duels. He's an old duels guy, non-alcoholic. Anyway, so I'm just getting into stand-up. So hey, there's Dave Chappelle. Let me ask him for some advice. So I asked Dave. I said, "Man, what's the most important thing I need to know about getting into stand-up comedy?" And I live by this to this day. He said, the most important thing you can do to get into stand-up comedy, bruh, he said,
Yeah.
is get comfortable on stages.
Yeah.
You have to get comfortable on stages. And then I was like, so is that how you guys are able to do like 45-hour sets or whatever? He said, yeah, that's it. That's the key. You get comfortable on stages, because he said he might have like maybe 30 minutes of stuff written out, but the rest of the 15 or the rest of the other 30 to make the hour is just him being comfortable on stages, just ad-libbing. I couldn't get to the ad-lib if I was uncomfortable, you know?
Right.
So what I thought, I said, I need more stage time. Where do I get stage time at? So my big idea was, I'll host karaoke. So I get to be on stage with a microphone in my hand, and I'll just drop crazy stuff between singers, whatever. So I started volunteering to host karaoke, and I was ask the karaoke host, do you need a break? Like, can I do it for 15 minutes or whatever, you know? And they was like, hey, you don't want any money? No, man, don't pay me. I just want to do it, you know, just to do it. So what I was doing, I was videotaping all these little voluntary karaoke sessions I was hosting, and I put the best 10 minutes together, and I got in my car. Do you know what I did? Got in my car, I drove to Miami, Florida, got a hotel room. The next morning the next morning I got up and I went to the lobby of Carnival Cruise Line. me and my videotape. I'm here to see Chris Unstead. Really? Because there's a guy named Vincent here to see you. You know, do you have an appointment? No, I don't have an appointment, but I just want to see Chris Unstead.
Yeah.
I dropped my videotape of me hosting karaoke to Chris Unstead in Miami. 2 months later, I was headed to Jamaica.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So young people, sometimes you just have to go for it, bro.
Yes.
Go for it,
yes. No, that's what's up. You know, thank you for sharing that. No. Oh my gosh. Brothers and sisters, you are listening to the Laugh Line on the Sister Speak Show. My special guest is Vinz Brown. I'm so excited about this interview. If you have not, if you're just now tuning in, you're going to definitely have to catch this on demand, because we have just been on the go ever since actually, the show started. But that right there was some jewels, because, if you don't go for it, how will you know? And you just have to do it. Like with this particular podcast, with my show, when I was in high school, I said, I wanted my own talk show. And people were like, I could see you having your own talk show, because I was loquacious, talkative, whatever, So, and I always just wanted to do it. I'd done radio and blah, 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 blah. But my main thing was just like, you know what? I'm going to create the opportunity. I'm going to create it. I am going to do it, because I could go through, I could try to go through Clear Channel, this, that, and the third. But with the way things are going, let me try it. And here we are. It'll be a year that I've had this show in August 6th. And you just have to, you have to go for it. But you have to, know that this is what you're supposed to do. Because a lot of times people want to do what they see other people are doing. And we already know how that ends up. But it has to be something that you are really great at doing.
Yeah. Now, then the weird part for me was I went there on the recommendation for Dave Chappelle, get comfortable on stages, right? So So I was doing like 6-month contracts. That's 6 days a week for 6 months. That's a lot of reps on stage, you know. And it's a lot of opportunity to figure out things. I looked at it as like my entertainment boot camp. You know, I would try new things out. No, that didn't work. How about try this? That didn't work. Okay, that's working. That's really working. And then what really gave me a lot of feedback was comment cards. And by the end of the first 6 months, matter of fact, I'll say this. By the end of my second 6 months, because I did like 4 6-month contracts being a karaoke host. By the end of my second 6 months, I was ringing them up.
Wow.
Killing them. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like know exactly what the things we were talking about, how, you know, the shoot from different angles on the stage and all these things we were talking about, how preachers do and all that.
Yeah.
I had all that stuff down.
Wow.
You know? So I guess I'm good to get off of here and go into my stand-up now, right?
Right.
No, that's where I made a decision at. I was like, this music and this interactive music and comedy thing and hosting thing is working. Why don't I just create my own lane with the music and comedy thing and stay here rather than go into a market that's saturated? Everybody's trying to do stand-up. Let me just do this over here. So that's kind of why I'm a music and comedy guy versus a stand. I don't like the title stand-up.
Right,
you know?
right.
Because you expect a certain thing. The thing I don't like about stand-up is it feels premeditated to me. It's like, okay, this guy's going to come in front of us with a whole bunch of jokes he wrote 2 months ago and just going to recall these jokes and say it. I think I'm much better being spontaneous, like being in the moment and creating off things, off of people, off situations, and just create comedy right there. And I would say about 30 to 40% of the hundreds of comic cards I've got spoke to that. They said, we like you because we could tell you were making it up on the spot. We could tell you were just naturally funny, like right on the spot. And then, so I use the comic cards not as ego boost. I use it for like classroom. Okay, I use it as a mirror to who I am.
Yes.
So after getting all these comic cards, I just start expounding upon the things that they were telling me what my strength is. I started expounding upon my strengths. You know, so that's another thing I would tell anybody: start asking for testimonials. You know, you like my stuff, you like my show. What do you like about my show?
Yes.
Start getting testimonials, and you'll see your best self. You know, and you start doubling down on your best self.
Yes. Ooh,
Speaking of testimonials, go to my testimonial page. If you like this interview, go to VinceBrown.com.
Right.
Testimonials.
Right.
Vince Brown, VinceBrown.com/testimonials. Drop in. What do you like about the interview? Anyway,
No.
I got a lot of stuff on. I got tons of testimonials on.
I appreciate, and you know, I can tell. Like I said, I knew that this was going to be, to me, an epic interview because just, you know, like I said, just, you know, all of what I saw that you do. And then, like I said, I like listening to your videos. I think you're funny. And, you know, I just knew that it was going to be something that the listening audience could really, really soak in because, you know, I was like, okay, I can tell he has some good jewels, some nuggets, and some gems. And I think we'll be able to incorporate that into the show because I'm all about, you know, making sure that my, you know, brothers and sisters definitely get some, you know, good wisdom and no reckless entertainment, but just really can learn from all of my phenomenal special guests.
Oh, we ain't got funny yet. Oh, no.
But, you know, but the whole point is, it's just that, you know, I know people sometimes to be sitting there like, tell me a joke. Say something funny.
That's the kind of comic I don't like.
Yeah.
That's why I don't really tell people that, I'm a comic. Really? Say something. Say something.
Right.
Say something.
Right.
Say something.
Right. Yeah. That's one of those, and you're just like, well, what do you want me to say? Oh my gosh, you're so funny. And it's just like, well, whoa, I didn't, you know. And it's just like sometimes it's like I've always heard that I'm funny, you know, and then I always used to be like, man, if you think I'm funny, you should definitely listen to my brother because my older brother, he's extremely funny, like extremely funny. And I got my humor, whatever, and so, that always works when speaking with people, meeting people, having a show, doing a show, is being able to make people laugh, because sometimes you don't even mean to do it. Sometimes you could be very serious, and just the way you say something have people rolling, and you're like, I don't know what.
And a lot of that is rhythm and timing. There's a lot of rhythm and timing, pauses and spaces, and people are conditioned for certain rhythm and timing, pauses and spaces. And if you say a certain thing, it's the artistry of words. You can say certain things in a certain way, and it's not really that funny, but it's how you said it that made it. People are programmed to hear it as punchline. Ba 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 ba. It's you know what I'm saying?
No, I know exactly what you're saying, and the thing about it is, I feel like sometimes, like I said, people. Like you said, people are conditioned to those pauses and everything. And people are always looking for somebody to say something that they've done so they can feel relief in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm not the only person that happened to. Oh, okay, so that happened to you too. And so when you hear, somebody, entertaining or doing comedy, and they start to, talk about real life things, I think that also kind of like relieves the pressure off of some people. Like, oh, okay, so that happened to you too. So
what I don't like, that kind of leads me into this. What I don't like about new school comedians is they're kind of away from. I gotta put it, tried and true concepts, the artistry of stand-up, and the artistry of how, like I mentioned, to put certain things together to create the punchline or whatever, the basic structure of comedy, and they think comedy is saying, this is man. They think comedy is just being bold and saying outlandish, silly stuff.
Right.
Like it's like ghetto slapstick.
Yeah.
And these videos you see nowadays online, oh my God, ghetto freaking slapstick.
Yeah,
it's all physical. Like eyeballs bulging. It's like you think it's doing this in 2018? Eyeballs bulging to get a laugh? Come on, man. When you can write, and something I learned. I'm about to tell you where I learned it from, but okay, I'll tell you anyway. I learned it from Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
I learned it from Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
I learned it from Bill Cosby, the comedian, not the rapist. Okay.
Right. There's a difference.
Bill Cosby would set his comedy up where it's not really the. You can create the laugh where you set the how can I put it, it's all in the premise. It's all creating the situation and the premise. It's like cocking the trigger back, and then all you do is say one or two words, and it's like pulling the trigger, pow, and that's where the funny comes in. And it's a lot of notes and spaces, words and pauses to set up this premise, and that's the situation is funny. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying.
For example, when I was hosting karaoke, and a person who came up sounding like really, really bad would come up, and after they got off the stage, I would take my time to walk up to the front of the stage very slowly and look back, like at the person, look at the audience, and go, so, and then whatever the next thing you say, pow. Because they know what you're about to see. You know what I'm saying? The situation that made it funny. The trigger is cocked back.
Yes.
I don't have an exact example to the exact words I said, but you understand what I'm saying, though.
No,
right?
I know exactly what you're saying. I think one person who does that really well is Steve Harvey. Like when somebody will respond to a question and the answer that they give, and he is really good at the pauses, the face, and you already know wwhat's coming. You already know what's coming.
You know what I'm saying?
You already know it, because the first thing I know is like, what the hell? You already know. You're just like, it's coming. Because
exactly. And that comes from being in tune with the audience, being in tune with the emotional response to what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And the comedy comes because everybody is in tune to that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's where the comedy is. It's not just, well, you think he's bad. Come on, man.
Right.
You know?
No, and speaking of comedy, I just want to navigate this conversation a little bit. I'll just say your within the top 5 comedians that you really just like. I really like these comedians.
I said it. I didn't say his name all day.
Well, we know Chris Rock, but I'm just saying, just for the flow.
Chris, Dave, Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce was the pioneer of this genre nowadays. That Richard Pryor kind of took it over from Lenny Bruce. Lenny Bruce was the dude in the '60s that went to jail like numerous times for cursing on stage when we wasn't supposed to be cursing. He like broke down the cursing barrier. So now everybody curses. Mm-hmm. So if you go to a comedy show and if the person's cursing, thank Lenny Bruce. But Lenny, what I liked about Lenny Bruce was a freaking like a professor, like a lecturer, scientist on stage who said stuff in a comic context. He would say stuff like 10 minutes without saying one joke, but it was like dropping gold bricks on your head. Like, wow, that shit is deep, dude. And then he'd say something kind of funny at the end of that. Like, and so you leave out with your brain's blown. Like, wow, I learned that this is. He's got this one. We was talking about Moses and Jesus. Which ones are they? They're the two in the back room glowing, and he was this whole skit about Moses and Jesus, and just breaking down religion and just really telling the truth about religion, but in a funny context. Moses and Jesus is walking around. Anyways, but yeah, Lenny Bruce. I mentioned Dave. I mentioned Chris. Who else do I like? Believe it or not, I read a comedy book. There's like 28 comics in the book, and there's 2 comics that I liked their interview better than everybody else, and it's Ellen DeGeneres and Roseanne Barr.
Really?
You believe that?
Yeah. Tell me why.
Roseanne Barr. The weird part is I liked her breakdown of comedy and her nuggets, but I don't really care for her comedy.
Right. Okay.
So the thing I remember about Roseanne Barr, her interview, she said she was in whatever small town she's from, and she said I was doing open mic, and when I started to hear the music in my stuff, I knew it was time to go to the big city. I'm like, when you begin to hear the music in your comedy, what she meant is when she began to hear the rhythm, and like I was saying earlier about how you can da 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 da. You know?
Yes.
When I started hearing that, the cadence and the rhythm, I knew that's how comedy works. So now I need to go to the big city, and then boom, she blew up. So.
And so then, what do you think about her Twitter rant?
Who knows? Who knows about these people? They on their drugs or whatever. They got their platform to say whatever they want to say. Who knows? I don't know. I'm a little tired of all the racist. I got to make this money. I ain't really trying to keep track of whatever who said what.
Right.
Of course, I'm not down with her. I'm not down for the bullshit.
Okay. I know that's right. And
I'm just saying. I'll just say this to all you Twitter and to all you Facebookers out there. You got to be careful what you give your energy to, because there's so much. Who said what? Who said that? You said racist? Did you say racist? That motherfucker said racist? Did you say, I'm really trying to make money, and I really don't have time to get overwhelmed by all the races and he said nigger and this, It's just too much. I'm trying to get more money so I can move to Africa.
Okay. Hello. I'm trying to go to Israel so I can reoccupy my homeland and get the people who ain't really supposed to be over there out of there. Hello. Uh-oh. I'll talk about it. All you fake Jews. That is not okay. I'm from the tribe of Judah. I understand who I am. So I want to get to Israel. I want to be able to go back to, I want to go to Africa. I want to be able to go to where we supposed to be at. That's just it, and I could get more into that, but I won't. And, when it comes to, for me, comedy, I think about, I grew up heavy with Eddie Murphy. I remember watching my brother watch Richard Pryor Through the Lines on the TV because we didn't have cable, but it was coming on through the cable lines. I remember comedy tapes, and I remember seeing Delirious and things like that, and remembering lines and things of that nature, and I just watched with comedy. And I say for me, I look at Kevin Hart. I like Kevin Hart, and I like listening to Chris Rock. I think Chris Tucker is cool. I think Dave Chappelle is funny. Eddie Murphy for me probably is all time. Just because I've just watched him evolve, and I look at the Clumps and the Nutty Professor, and just Eddie Murphy is just funny. Just his laugh alone, I think if your laugh can make me laugh, that says a lot. What
I like about Eddie Murphy, what Eddie Murphy and also Eddie Griffin does the same thing.
Yes,
he brings his whole person to the stage. He brings his whole arsenal. That's what I want to say. His whole arsenal. Okay, I can sing a little bit. I can dance a little bit. I can do impressions. He brings all of that, wraps it into his stand up. And Eddie Griffin does the same thing. Shout out KC. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, he does the same thing. He brings his whole. Speaking of Eddie Griffin, we're around the same age group. I remember Eddie Griffin in the entertainment district in Kansas City called Westport. In the 80s, they had the break dancers and stuff.
Yes.
Eddie Griffin was a break dancer. They was out in the military with the box.
I believe it.
With boxes spinning around with the hip hop music on the big ghetto,
yes.
Ghetto blast or whatever.
Yes.
That was Eddie Griffin. And then 20 years later, now he's on stage doing stand up, but then he's doing dancing in the stand up. Oh, that's the same dude.
Yes.
That was him.
That makes sense. And you know who else? Now that you said that. Tommy Davidson is another underrated, comedian. Tommy Davis. I was watching the 2009 All-Star Jam. Shaquille O'Neal likes to, have his All-Star comedy jams. Yeah. And Tommy Davidson came out, and the fact that he is bilingual, oh my goodness, you've got to catch that act, because he is, the dancing, the impressions. The impersonations, and just all of that. Like, I was like, wow, he really, really has great comedic strength on stage, because he was able to reach the Latin, the Latin audience, and they were with him. It was good to see. So I just like when somebody has range, like,
Let me throw this in there also. We talked about Eddie Murphy. Oh, I got one for you. We talked about Eddie Murphy. I was based out of New York City doing a cruise, and this lady, what's her name? I can't say her name. She was a stage actress out of New York City. Excuse me. And she said, "You remind me of Eddie Murphy. I did a play with Eddie Murphy once. You remind me of him, because you guys had the same thing where when the house lights come on, you're on, but when you're off stage, you're really mellow and laid back. You remind me of Eddie Murphy." So I thought that was interesting, which is true too.
Yeah.
Because I ran into that a lot when I was doing cruise ships. Like, when I'm on stage, I'm on. When I'm off, I appreciate it, but can you not talk to me? I don't want to be rude. It's like, I'm kind of to myself in a way. I'm like extroverted, introverted.
Yes.
And people, like, I would like be in the next port city, or we're in Cozumel, Mexico, or whatever. Vinz, I'm looking around. Hey, how you doing? You never remember last night when you said man, that was funny when you said it. I was like, okay, all right, hey, I appreciate it. I'm gonna walk down the street now.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't want to be. So I can understand. Like, I guess I was a celebrity as a microcosm.
Yeah.
I understand how it goes. Like, you could be called rude easily, but it's just a matter of just that was what I do, but now I'm doing my real person over here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Some entertainers are on all the time, but I'm on and then I'm off.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. And people people have to learn boundaries, and sometimes you have to teach them how to learn boundaries. You know what I'm saying? But
that's why when I see an entertainer out, anybody, I give them space. I go, hey man, I appreciate your stuff, and I keep walking.
Oh, Vinz.
Yeah. In fact, I did. I was at a music conference in New Orleans one year, and I did that to Sheila E. I said, hey Sheila, hey, I've just been a fan of yours, hey. And I kept walking, and she said, hey. I turned around, she said, you want to walk with us? I'm like, yeah, okay. It was just me, Sheila, and her cousin walking all around New Orleans. It's crazy.
Now give it up, y'all. Give it up for Vinz dropping the dimes and dropping the good historic moments. Yeah, I mean, do you know how many men would love to say that they were able to walk around with Sheila E? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You're just like, oh yeah, Sheila and I were just walking around, you know, Sheila and her friend and we were just,
but,
you know.
But how did I do it though? By giving them her space.
Space. And
it's the same with women who's not celebrities. Hey, how you doing? I like them shoes.
Right.
You don't sweat people.
Yes.
Sweat them and make it. And I do this like even when I'm like in a club or whatever. It's like ladies' choice. You gotta make it the lady. You gotta make it the lady's choice to choose you. You gotta choose you, bro. You can't just be trying to, you know, you mine, bam. We gonna have this conversation.
I'm telling you, awkward.
You know, say what you want to say, and then give her space to choose you.
Yes.
Then she decide for herself. You know. So,
yes.
So Sheila chose me, bro.
Yes, you got chose by Sheila E. That's amazing. And you know what? The funny thing is, like, when my husband and I were in Grand Prairie, and there was a football player there, former Dallas Cowboy there, and he didn't want to be bothered. Okay, off the gate, he did not want to be bothered.
Yeah.
This brother, you can't hide from me. I see you. You thought you was just gonna get away from me? I seen you sitting over there. I was like, oh my gosh.
Your
like,
husband said that?
No, not my husband. No, my husband. No, my husband got straight. My husband got straight. Cool. My husband he's cool. He's not awkward. I don't have an awkward husband.
Yeah.
Now he knows how to get out in society. Not in society, but my husband knows how to socialize properly. No, but But you said, but he was like, I see you over there. You can't hide from me. And my husband and I watched this unfold. And we were like, oh my gosh. Like, you know, and this guy, he suffers from, it turns out, because they did a news segment on him. He suffers from like, I don't want to say schizophrenia, but he has some mental issues going on. So you can only imagine what that was like magnified with the things that he already has going on in his head. Like, you know, because the next time I saw him, I kid you not, this is a true story. The next time I saw him, I was coming out of Sprouts. And Sprouts is like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. I'm coming out of Sprouts and I see him, but this time he's walking and he has his whole face covered up except for his eyes. And he's got like to where his nose can breathe. But he's like, I don't want anybody to notice me, even though you're going to notice him because he looks a little Mork and Mindy-ish. You know what I'm saying? Walking around in this disguise. But it was just like, he doesn't want to be bothered. You know what I'm saying? And that's the length that he was willing to go. Another time, I have to tell you this because this is funny. I'm at Shell gas station and Deion Sanders, he lives out here by us. So we always see Deion. So it's nothing. Hey, Deion, how you doing? Keep it pushing, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Deion Sanders comes into the gas station just trying to mind his business, okay? He just wants to mind his business. And this one guy got starstruck. And
Can I pump your gas?
Oh, no. This is even worse. Deion is trying to get out the automatic doors, okay? And the guy blocks him. And Deanna's like, hey, man, let me go. Let me go. And the guy won't move. He's like, let me go. But the guy still won't say anything to him because he's just starstruck. And so he moves to the side, and Deanna's getting to go into his car, to his van. And the guy's like, Deon! Just kept screaming his name. And in my head, I said, Deion Sanders, on this day, Deion Sanders has decided he's never coming back to this Shell gas station ever again. Do you know 3 days later, I'm driving on my way to the Walmart market and I see Deion Sanders at Exxon.
Made a mental note. Okay.
Yeah. But people are just awkward. So I just think that's really good what you just shared about space and boundaries. And when you give people space and you respect their boundaries, you could end up on the walk of your life.
Yeah, because the old saying, walking in another person's shoes. I experienced quote unquote celebrity in a microcosm in the shit world. I experienced it, so I know that I don't like that. So that's why I reciprocated with other people. They might not like it either.
Yeah.
Although some people might eat it up. I don't know, but
yeah. No, and I appreciate that. So like with you, being on a cruise ship, and what are some of the places where are some of the places that you have cruised around the world to?
Wow, like 22 different countries.
Wow.
In 10 years.
Wow.
Let's go top five. Top five. Vince Brown's top five.
Yes.
Top 5 at 5. I got to put Istanbul, Turkey at the top. Close second is Barcelona, Spain. Third is Morocco. Casablanca, Morocco, excuse me. The reason I put Morocco that high because they crazy up in there. It's like it's almost like the more foreign it is, the more Indiana Jones-ish it is, the more fun it is. That's for me anyway. It's kind of scary fun. It's like roller coaster fun, Like, wow, I could get shot. This shit's fun, That's how it is for me. That was how it was for me. I don't know, but I say all that to say when you did it as often as I have done it, walk around by yourself in foreign ports and foreign lands or whatever, it brings out a different aspect of yourself. It's like I could walk anywhere right now. I could walk anywhere in the United States and not really feel like. I think you can walk almost anywhere you want to as long as you look like you got somewhere to go. If you look like wow, that's a nice building, you get messed with. So you kind of blend. You got a regular T-shirt on, some jeans on, and you walk like you got places to go. People won't mess with you as much. So I also perfected the art of taking a picture with the camera down at my side versus having it like my eye up to the viewfinder or whatever.
Yeah.
I can take pictures from knee angle. So if you look through all my pictures, you'll see these are knee angle shots. It's all coming from knee angle. Why is it coming from knee? There's a kneecap right there. Why is it kneecap in half the pictures?
Oh my gosh. And so, with you having to go to all these different countries, for me, I'm a very picky eater, and I have a serious gag reflex, okay? So certain things, that may be a custom or a culture for other people, I'm like, that absolutely I'm not doing it. So how did you adjust your palate to all of the foreign foods that you had to eat, or did you just take that time to fast?
I didn't eat a lot of meat. I don't eat a lot of meat anyway. But do you have that in a veggie? You got a veggie version of that thing right there? Can we do the veggie version of the thing you got right there? And then usually, you're good to go with that. Oh, that's a tomato. Okay, that's a tomato? That's a tomato. Okay,
yeah.
That's a tomato,
Yeah.
You say so. You take a couple bites. Damn, it was a tomato.
Yeah.
It looks different.
Yeah. Yeah, my cousin got mad at me. I didn't care because I got, I feel like I got to drive home with me, and I got to feel like I had a successful day. So if I spent my whole day pleasing other people, and then I didn't benefit anything out of my own energy, then I get mad at myself. I'd be mad at myself driving home. And so he and I went to Chinatown in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And he didn't prepare me. He did not prepare me for what it was that I was going to see. It's one thing to drive by Chinatown, drive through Chinatown. It's another thing to walk the streets, okay? Because they take the word street vendor to a whole nother level, okay? So, I'm walking, and immediately the smell hit me. I got a very sensitive nose, okay? So immediately the smell hit me, and he said, "Don't cover your nose." Whoa.
Don't cover your nose. Why not?
Because it's rude to them. It's rude to the Chinese people in Chinatown to cover your nose. And I'm like, and I was like,
your food is assaulting my nose.
Yeah, no, there are things that are rising. I feel like I'm smelling demons, okay, walking through here. And so we get to the part to where the food is. I started to gag because I had never in my life seen frogs in black sauce, okay?
Frogs?
In black sauce. See, my mouth is getting wet right now. I'm borderline thinking about throwing it right now. Like sauce, like in black thick sauce, right? And just all these just
the things with the big legs that jump, right?
Yeah, frogs. Yes. Frogs.
In sauce.
In black sauce.
Oh.
And I at this time I'm just like, cause see he prefers women from that culture. So he's used to that. I ain't. Okay? So, I just wasn't used to it. So just walking through there and just seeing all that other type of stuff, I just don't know how people can eat this type of stuff, It takes me back. I don't know if you saw on Instagram the video where that Asian woman was catching those birds in the park and they arrested her, and because they said she was a restaurant owner and she was catching the birds in the park, and they said she was serving it with the chicken and dumplings.
Nice.
This woman was sitting there with that little white plastic bag, and she threw out some little bird stuff. Them little birds came up there and started eating that, and that woman clawed up her hands, and you cannot tell her, "Oh, you gotta be quicker than that," because she is quicker than that, honey. She snatched up that birds, and put it in the plastic bag. Them birds just flying around all in the bag, and people caught her on tape. They reported her and arrested her, and she been selling the birds and the chicken and dumplings at her restaurant.
What do you call that?
I don't know what you would call that.
Yeah. Sparrow and cream sauce? I mean, what? Man.
No, we call it her hand is on the sparrow.
Yeah. do you do what goes with red sauce or white sauce with sparrow? I'm just wondering. I'm
thinking some salsa verde.
Yeah.
some chipotle.
Some white sauce with my
and that just made me think about all the times I have ordered chicken chow mein, especially, and I always wondered because the chicken never looked like, because I don't like broiled chicken. I think broiled chicken is from the pits of hell. Broiled chicken. I just want to put that out there. But I'm just wondering now, like, dang, were they going to the park? Now it just makes me wonder, like, because I see a lot of them in the park, and now I'm wondering. I'm wondering.
While we're on here talking, I need some of your listeners to friend me on Facebook.
Okay.
Are your listeners on Facebook?
I'm quite sure they are.
I need your listeners to friend Vinz Brown, VINZ Brown on Facebook.
They will.
Especially the white ones. I need more white friends on Facebook.
Oh, you need the village.
I'm successful, so I need white friends. You ever notice black entertainers, when they're successful, they got white friends? I need more white friends.
Yeah, I think misguided black entertainers, when they become successful, they have more white friends, because for some reason they think white privilege is the end all be all and the climax of success, and it's just not. I don't
need the privilege. I just need the white friend. I need more white friends.
Okay, brother, you on your own with that one.
Okay. Anyway, if you listen to this show and you're white, I need you to go to Facebook right now. Vinz Brown. You ever know successful black people got white friends? If you went to a showroom and it's a 400-seat showroom up to see a black person that's famous, it'll be 200 white people in the room, 180 black people in the room, and then 20 of your family members. The 200 white people will be going, "Well, you're great, you're amazing, oh my God, you're amazing." The 180 black people going, "Hey, he's all right." And then your 20 family members be like, "Nah, they wasn't shit.
Yeah, right,
you know?
right. And that is so true.
More cheerleaders. If you're a black person and you're into cheerleading for black people, I need you as a friend also.
Yes.
I need cheerleaders, please.
Yes. And you know what? We can definitely solve this problem, my brothers and sisters. You are listening to The Laugh Line Live. I am your host, Ayana, and my special guest is definitely Vinz Brown. You know, to solve that issue, brothers and sisters, to where you all can be better cheerleaders, you know, the one thing that you need to do is you got to activate your purpose and your passions. A lot of times our brothers and sisters always have the stank face like they smell the shitty diaper because you're not activated in your purpose and your passion. Excuse me. And that's the disconnect. And so we've got to make sure that you, my brother, and you, my sister, are really doing something that you love to do and that benefits the village. So you'll know what it feels like to be on a grind, to where you'll appreciate support and then you'll want to give support. That's what we lack.
I'll cheer for you too.
You know, and that's what it is. And that's what I do. I don't charge for these interviews. I do promos. I do all of this stuff because I really know that I believe in gardening. And I'm a gardener. I believe in sowing seeds, planting seeds. I know this will come back to me, but I do it because I love it, you know, and that's what it's about, you know. Vinz, I want to, because we will be closing out the interview, but before we close out the interview, I want to play a couple games with you.
Yeah.
I really, really do. So, because you are a brother who definitely knows about historic black television shows, I wanted to play a game with you based on the show Good Times. Have you watched Good Times before?
Yeah.
Okay. So, so we've got, so first of all, how many characters can you name from Good Times?
Yeah, let me see, Thelma. Okay, there's Thelma. There's Thelma. There's Penny. There's Valona. There's the landlord, the fat dude. I can't think of his name. Anyway,
Bookman.
Bookman.
Mm-hmm. Booger.
How many are we up to now? 4?
You about 5, 6 in.
We're 5 in. Okay. There's JJ.
Yes.
There's Mom.
Miami.
Damn, I can't think of Mom's name. That's crazy.
Well, where is Miami? Where is Miami?
Florida. Yeah. James. Him. Yeah, there's a thing. James.
The youngest son.
Michael.
Michael was always ahead of his time, wasn't he?
Yeah. You know the story that they didn't want James on the show. Remember that?
Now talk about that, because
they didn't want James on the show because they didn't think it was that funny to have a black man on a whole family reunion,
Mm-hmm.
a whole family unit,
right?
Which was basic 70s racism, But Lauren, what's her name? Esther Rowe said,
Yes.
"No, I'm not doing this show without a father figure."
That's right.
Y'all want me to spin the show off Archie Bunker's show, Good All in the Family, to my own show? Great, I appreciate that, but I'm not doing it without a father.
Right, and
so she used her leverage.
Yes.
And won.
Yes, and because during that time also, it's not fair for everybody to get for Carol Brady and her 3 daughters, you know, Carol Brady was a single mother with 3 daughters, Marsha, Jan, and Sydney. And then you have the father, and then you have his 3 boys. And so that is where you saw the introduction of the first blended family. So why would it have been okay for Carol and her 3 daughters, you know, Carol not to be a single mother, that, you know, she was able to have, but we got to have Florida in the ghetto with her 3 children as a single mother, and nobody else can come in. But obviously we know that did not happen. And that just goes, that goes to show a lot of the times that we have to kind of understand who controls Hollywood, who controls these scripts. You know, there were a lot of things, if you paid attention to the script, because I used to do theater, I used to do acting, I studied under Ed Bullins and Vern Henderson, and I did a lot of black plays. So you got to pay attention to, the message that's coming within the script. And there were a lot of things that were said, that were written in the script that were just really disrespectful to us as a people. But it's under the guise of acting, you know. But there were a lot of issues that still came through. One of the things that I paid attention to on Good Times was JJ was, they wanted him to join the gang, and they were saying, you know, we're getting ready to have basically a war between our rival gangs. And he was like, well, how are we going to get them? He said, we gonna ride through their neighborhood real slow, and we gonna pop that whoever we see. So now, in the 80s, what do we start hearing about? Drive-by shootings. Well, how would you know to drive slowly through a neighborhood and look for whoever you see and pop them? Could it be because of the subliminal message that was taught on Good Times?
Yeah, well, or that was just a part of the culture.
True.
In general, you know, I mean, I'm sure it helped.
Yeah.
It didn't hinder. I
No.
mean, it didn't stop it. It helped perpetuate it. You know.
Right.
But a lot of those things are shows, and I started looking at television and radio differently in the last year when I started to elevate how I'm thinking about business. All of it is basically why is that show on the air? Because it generates income. It's generating eyeballs, so you can charge advertisement dollars so people can watch it, so you know what I'm saying? It's all revenue and income, you know, and it's catered towards a certain market because they want a certain dollar, you know.
Yes.
But then they want to control. They want to control so you don't say too much, so you're not too real, so you're not too too helping of the black community. I guess I don't know how to say that.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. We
want to cater to y'all, but we want to control the message at the
same
time.
Yes. There, you know, see, the biggest threat to this world is for a group of people who have been oppressed to find out that in fact they are not inferior, but they are in fact superior. That is the biggest threat to this world, because if our people find out,
you better look out your windows right now.
Okay,
coming down on you.
Look, if our people were to really find out who they were, because see, they know who we are. It's us who are in the dark about our own light. And so if we start to get control of freeways and highways of social media and television and radio and start to project the truth, they're in trouble.
Are you gonna sit here on this radio, on this podcast, and go, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing on us?
Yes, definitely I am. I definitely am, because she spoke the truth, though. She had to put.
I'm just letting you know that I know Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
Yes, and I'm letting you know I know who you're talking about, because I saw the video, and she had a lot of her own people upset. But the worst thing that can happen is when somebody from the side of the oppressor has somebody who looks like them say that what we have done is wrong. What we have done is wrong, and this is wrong, and that is wrong, and systemic racism is this and that. That is a threat to their own people. But you cannot You cannot deceive us without first deceiving your own. So the oppressors have deceived their own people first. You got to. You have to. And in order to then try to, do what you do. So for us to...
Once the oppressor is in your head, you do not need to be present. He will oppress himself. Carter G. Woodson.
Exactly. No, exactly. I mean, let's think about this. How bad is it if you want to stay on the plantation? Okay? Harriet Tubman had to leave several people behind. I'm just using this as an example. There are some people who love Master. They love him. They don't want to leave the plantation. And if you're trying to get off the plantation, I'm going to go tell Master that you know who you are and that you're really supposed to be free. I'm going to go tell Master on you. There are people who want to be, I hate to say this word, but they want to be niggas.
Oh, yes, she did. She just said the word. Yeah.
They want to be niggas. They don't. If I walked up to somebody who is comfortable being a nigga,
I'm gonna tell you something that a lot of people don't even know. You don't even know. A lot of people don't even know that when Martin Luther King first started off, a whole bunch of black folks was like, "Nigga, you lost your damn mind." A whole bunch of black folks did not go with Martin Luther King. Martin Luther, and this is unpopular, and a lot of people don't know. But people, ask your mama. People around in the people that's at least 75, 80 years old right now, black people, they know. But the generation below that don't know that when Martin Luther King first came out in the early 60s, or late 50s, early 60s, or whatever, they were not marching with Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King scared black people. What are you doing? You gonna give me trouble on my job? You know what I'm saying? We wasn't going with Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King only started to really pick up speed when the ballsy white people went with Martin Luther King. That's when Martin Luther King started picking up speed.
Yeah,
is it okay?
Yeah,
because that mindset, I'm getting excited.
That's all right.
That mindset is here today, where black people don't move until it's okay, until the regular white people say it's okay. It's popular with them, then they move.
And that's the problem. And, a lot of people don't like to hear, I mean, I've said this on my show, my parents... My mom is 75. My parents were born in the 40s, and so they were around. They both born in Alabama. Been in Montgomery, so they've been in the cusp of it all. And at one point, I could not watch civil rights documentaries and stuff because just of the stuff that I was seeing with the brutality and all of that stuff, it really just rubbed me some type of way at that time. Now, the brutality still rubs me a wrong way, but hear what I'm saying. A lot of people get upset with me because I say we had no business marching. A lot of times people don't want to hear that, but I'm going to just tell you why. My problem is, why do we always want to try to play with people that don't want to play with us? Why do we always have to sit in if they did not want us to come into their restaurants, we should have respected that. If they did not want us drinking from their water fountains, we should have respected that. Now, I don't respect the way that they communicated their disdain for us, the way that they treated us. All of that, you reap what you sow. But why did we have to force ourselves to have their education? Why? What was wrong with our side of town to where we could not have developed it? Because we come from inventors and mathematicians and scientists and people who really had the mind state to do well. What was so intriguing?
So my idea of advancement is to make a sign and march up and down the street in front of your damn store to tell you, please take my money.
Right.
We mad at you because you won't let us put money in your store to send your kid to college. What sense does that make?
That it made none. And now
y'all got your. They had their idea in the wrong avenue.
In the wrong.
Fact, Martin Luther King even said it.
Yes, but
you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Even towards the end of his life, he said, "I think I led my people into a what? Burning building or house." He said burning house.
No, we said a burning. Yes, a burning building.
King even said, "I think I led my people."
He did. We shall overcome what? What shall we overcome? What is it that we shall overcome someday? You know what I'm saying? We got to understand that sometimes there's nothing wrong with segregation. There's nothing wrong with it.
But the problem, what we should have been doing was we should get our own shit. That's what we should have been.
And look, and the thing about it is, if we're going to go even deeper, a lot of people want to know, well, why do we as black people have so much trouble in this world? What is it about our race that has to go through all of this? And it goes back to this. You want to know, brothers and sisters, why we suffer, why we go through so much, why we have so many curses? It's because we stepped away from the Most High God. We stepped away from God. We walked away from the commandments. And us going into slavery was a curse that God chose to give us, because it says it in the Bible that we will have yokes of iron put upon our necks and be given into captivity. We were put into captivity by the Most High God because we walked away from the commandments, because we decided to worship false idols, because we walked away. That's what it is. And so we are the only race to go into captivity with yokes of iron upon our necks.
Yeah.
Everything.
I don't know how. I don't think I want to get too deep on this, but I'll say this. As a person who was blessed to like travel 22 different countries all around the world, and then Turkey, Greece, Spain, all these places, and walk the streets of these places as a black person, you do not understand the full your full identity until you walk in the world and see people see you, and then they go. And after getting the responses from all these different places, it's like African Americans are really something. It must be something really, really special about us.
It is. Look.
We're the most admired, copied, loved, hated people on the planet. And when you see it on a global scale, not just in the United States, but you see it outside the world, you're like, oh, it must be something. You know what I'm saying? It's like there must be something to us.
There is something. We are the children of Israel. We are the people that the Bible speaks of. We are a part of the 12 tribes of Israel. And that is real. A lot of people, when you speak like that, they look at you like you're weird or this and the third. Look, there's power in the wisdom that I have. I wouldn't be saying it if I did not know it. That's because we are the children of Israel. We are God's chosen people. That's why. And when the oppressors find out that they've been doing all of what they've been doing to God's chosen people, it's going to be a really, really big letdown. And that's where, like I said, that's why I'm so confident in how I speak and how I move and how I groove and what I know.
And then most of us aren't gonna make it. Most of us are lost and gone at this point.
Yeah.
It's a wrap. And then but some of us are in that number, so to speak.
Yes.
Some
Yes,
of us
we
are
are.
in it, most of us
There's
are. So that's why, to me, I look at it. I'm at the point right now where I've evolved, where I don't see things on a somewhat of a. I'll say I've evolved past a skin color towards thing. I'm more on a vibrational thing now. I recognize vibration rather than skin color, because if you get caught up on the skin color, you're gonna be dealing with some people and they're gonna jack your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
If you're just based on physical, skin deep, So if I vibe with a person, but here's the deal though, most of the people I really, really vibe with do happen to be of a certain skin color. You know where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
They do happen to be that.
Yeah.
That skin color.
I understand. I appreciate that. Now, one thing I wanted to do before we wrap up is I wanted to go through the Good Times theme song. Okay?
Oh,
because I have to ask you, because there, the big controversy about one particular line in the theme song. Okay. So I'm going to say the lines, and then there's one that I'm going to leave out, and you have to fill in the blank.
Oh, man.
Okay? Okay, so here we go. Good times. Anytime you meet a payment, good times. Anytime you need a friend, good times. Anytime you're out from under, not getting hassled, not getting hustled, keeping your head above water, making a wave when you can. Temporary layoffs, good times. Easy credit ripoffs, good times. Scratching and surviving, good times.
Ain't we lucky we got them?
That's the line before that one, so now you gotta fill in the blank. So, temporary layoffs, good times. Easy credit rip-offs, good times. Scratching and surviving, good times. Hanging in a...
John. Hanging in a John?
Exactly, that was my point. Exactly. You know, it's just like, well, what exactly are they saying? So when I had looked it up, it was somebody said hanging in a chow line, and I'm like, a chow line. But I just looked on here and it says hanging in and jiving. Hanging in and jiving. I think I take
hanging in and jiving.
Yeah, hanging in and jiving. Good times.
I thought it said hanging in a John.
I thought it was hanging in a, you know what I mean? I don't, you know, I didn't know what it was.
I'm surprised that you know all of that. You was like every word for word. How do you know all that?
Oh, I'm looking on my reference on my iPhone.
Oh.
Yeah. No, no. That wasn't no freestyle. That was straight. Let me look on this page right here and make sure. But you know. And now, okay, so then I got one more for you because this one is a good one. I'm going to pull it up for you. But while I'm pulling it up, please tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, all your social media handles and events that you have coming up as I pull up this next one.
Okay, yeah. Check me out at VinzBrown.com, VinzBrown.com. There's a bunch of stuff on there. And she told me to say that. But, yeah, I'm on there. And if you enjoy the interview, my part, not her part, my part. If you enjoy the interview, go to VinzBrown.com/testimonials. Tell me what you think.
Okay. All right. So this next one, this last theme song is from the Jeffersons.
She's staying in the 70s. Okay.
Oh, I have to because, see, I just, you know, there's some things that are classics and they just don't go out of style. Even if I've seen the episodes several times, I watch them like I've never seen them before. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to say the lyrics, and then when I pause, you have to fill in the blank.
Oh, my.
Okay. You ready?
My.
Okay. Well, we're moving on up to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Well, we're moving on up to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie. Doom, 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 doom.
Beans don't burn on Beans don't fry on the grill. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
I got it in there.
Oh my gosh.
I just jammed.
Okay.
I got that.
Okay, it goes. Fish don't fry in the kitchen. A bean don't burn on the grill. Took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues. It's my turn at bat. As long as we live, it's you and me, baby. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Well, we're moving on up.
Yeah, I got real with it. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you said dinner and a bill, beans.
Yeah.
Beans and grill. No, but you know,
I shouldn't. That was my fault. I should have brought my own personal life into it.
Oh, that's all right. No, but you know, the thing about it is, these are classics, and these are something that is always discussed. People always like, okay, well, what lyric are they saying, or what's that, or whatever. So, it's just...
I had no idea they said all that stuff.
I know, but you got to know that fish don't fry in the kitchen and the beans don't burn on the grill, I guess.
I'm talking about that first one, when you was just, all this temporary layoffs and scratching and surviving. I'm like, I didn't know all that was in there. Hanging in, John. I didn't know all that was in there.
That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what, Vincent? Vinz. I had a really, really good time with you, and I really look forward to having you come back on the Sister Speak show again. We did not cover everything, but that's why I want to have you come back on again as a revolving special guest, because your energy is dynamic. Your conversation is absolutely amazing. Your humor is amazing. But just you overall, I really am so glad that I got to just really, converse with you outside of just, direct messaging. Like, I feel like, okay, now I know a little bit about this brother, and,
Well, that's the most I could do. I mean, sorry, the least I could do. That's what I meant to say.
No.
That's the least I could do.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you. I can see why you've been in the business for so long, and I can only imagine what it is like to sit in the audience and to experience a Vinz Brown special. You know what I'm saying? And so, just salute to you and flowers to you while you can still smell them. I'm very grateful that you were created, and I just thank you for sharing, all of what you shared. I'm quite sure, because I have an international listeners that.
Well, I appreciate it. Just schedule me back on anytime, and we could they can do it again sometime.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that, and I know that my international listeners will be able to listen to this interview and be like, oh, okay, I really enjoyed that interview, and it just really it just keeps the show going. So, I really appreciate you, my brother. I'm going to send you a copy of this interview into your direct messages, and
okay.
You continue to prosper, you continue to do well, and you be encouraged. And, this is definitely not goodbye. This is just going to be that I'll talk to you later. And I definitely hope that you will come back on the show soon.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on there. VinzBrown.com. That's where they can go and check me out on there. All my information is on there. So holla, listeners.
Did you have a good time on the Sister Speak show?
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely.
Good. Thank you so much, my brother, and you take care, okay?
All right. Okay.
All right.
Appreciate y'all.
Brothers and sisters, let's give a round of applause for Vinz Brown. Got something for you all, brothers and sisters. You are listening to The Laugh Line. Got something for you.
The Bill Cosby Show? I do too. I love Bill Cosby Show. I've been a big fan of Bill Cosby all my life. Never met the man before, but he called me up about a year ago and chastised me on the phone for being too dirty on stage, and it was real weird because I had never met him.
Not that one, brothers and sisters. I don't want to do that one, but I got one for you. Here we go.
I didn't realize my mother was a good cook after I moved out of the house.
Eddie Murphy, Raw, 1987.
You don't think she can cook, and I have one of those mothers, no matter what you want, she has the ingredients at home. You say, Mom, I want to stop and get some McDonald's. She go, I got hamburger meat at home. But I want McDonald's hamburger. I'll make your hamburger better than McDonald's. Better than McDonald's? That's right. When you get home, you can help Mama make it. You say, shit, that's better than McDonald's. You must say, okay, go get me a big black frying pan from under the stove. So you hand the big black frying pan, and she said, now while you're in there, I want you to go get in the refrigerator, give me the chopped meat, and while you're in there, get me a green pepper and an onion. And you said, ain't no green peppers in McDonald's. I'm not making McDonald's. I'm making your mama's burger. I need green pepper and onion. While you're in there, give me an egg out, too. What you need eggs for? I want hamburgers. You make an egg McMuffins. I'm not making an egg McMuffin. I don't even know what no damn egg McMuffin is. Just give me the egg out and just shut them out. And she take the egg and the green peppers and chop the green pepper up in big chunks. Don't even dice it. Big chunks of green peppers and onion, and mix the egg in and put paprika and all this shit in it and make a big meatball and put it in the middle of this frying pan. And McDonald's, the meat is this thin. Your mother's shit is like this, is fat with green peppers hanging out of it and shit, and there's a big split in the middle and grease is popping out, and you're looking at it while it's popping, you're looking at the grease in the pan, you're thinking to yourself, that don't look like no McDonald's. Then your mother say, go inside the refrigerator and go inside and get me the bread out the bread box. And you go look in the bread box and you say, Ma, we don't have no hamburger buns. All we have is Wonder Bread. That's what I said, get the bread out the bread box. You gonna put it on square Wonder Bread? God damn it, bread is bread. You better bring me that bread before I slap you in your mouth. Don't tell me something about the Wonder Bread. What's that bread called? So tell me some shit about Wonder Bread. This is Wonder Bread. The hamburger is a hamburger. As you make it and put it in the middle of square Wonder Bread. At McDonald's, they use buns. The meat covers the whole bread. At your mother's, the meat's right in the middle of the bread. With grease running through the middle, making the bread stick to the plate. Now, big green peppers hanging out the top of this big meatball on the bread, and you try to put some ketchup on it, and to mix with the grease, turn the bread into pink dough. Then you grab it and get fingerprinted, and you got big fingerprints in the dough, and you stand there looking at it, and you try to make it look like McDonald's, so you rip the edges off around and make it round, and you got green peppers and grease running down your hand, and your mother say, now go on outside and play. And the other kids got McDonald's. They outside go, we got McDonald's, hamburgers, McDonald's, I got McDonald's. And you stand there with this big house burger. And kids are honest. They say, where you get that big welfare green pepper burger? And you cry. My mother made and long slob. When little kids cry, some long slob come out their mouth and it hangs this far to the ground. And it won't break. And adults stand around going, is that slob gonna break? And it won't. The wind can blow that slob. You know where you can see kids crying? I do it all the time. I'm sadistic. I like to go to the supermarket and watch mothers lose it and beat the shit out of their kids.
Brothers and sisters, you have been listening to the Laugh Line on the Sister Speak Show. My brothers and sisters, I have had a wonderful, wonderful time conversing with you. The time has definitely been well spent, but that's what it's about. You know, I hope that you got some nuggets this evening. Check out my special guest, Vinz Brown, and all of what he has going on. If you are interested in being a special guest on the Laugh Line, holla at me at SGTPGW on Instagram, or you can contact me at sistergoodthing.com, or you can email me at thesisterspeakshow@gmail.com, my brothers and sisters. And I'd love to interview you. You know, be bold, be brazen, and be about your business, okay? I am not going to turn away anybody who I feel like deserves to be on the Sister Speak Show. That's not what this is about. I would love to highlight you, you know, so people reach out to me all the time. So holla at me. You know, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this interview. Thank you for listening. I hope that you had a good time. I hope you were able to laugh. I hope you were able to pick up some good wisdom, you know, and to my brothers, I need you to, those of you who, I'm going to get on this. Those of you who are out there letting your feet loose and you don't take care of your feet tonight, I need you to fill your socks up with lotion, okay? And I need you to put your feet in your socks and let that marinate for 24 hours. Y'all be talking about your famous wings and stuff that you be letting marinate for 12 to 24 hours. Let your feet marinate for 12 to 24 hours. And stop getting on the sisters about they stuff all the time when your stuff is out of line. I saw a brother get out the car today. I ain't trying to be rude, but I got to call it out because you need to get rid of this. Because look, I want my brothers and I want my sisters to look their best. I saw a brother get out the car today. Look, his stomach was so big, I think he was pregnant with a sophomore in college. I didn't understand what was going on. I ain't trying to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying that'll be the same brother that want to talk about a sister, but he over here looking like, you know what I'm saying? Mrs. Doubtfire. What's up? Look, brothers and sisters, I want you to have a great weekend. Please tune in live tomorrow night. Listen to the tour live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I've got Cash Kemp. He's going to be my special guest out of Florida. Keep it lit. And then on Sunday, listen to the platform. My special guest will be, and my special guest is 17 years old, okay? Yes! Jamil Muhammad will be my special guest. He owns his own shoe boutique and clothing, shoe boutique and store. So I'm really excited about that. 17 years old, right? Amazing. Have a great weekend. Tune back live. I'm really, really praying for my brothers that they get their stuff together. I'm praying for my sisters that they get their stuff together. And you know what, sisters? I don't know what it is about you in this heat that makes you feel like you can put on just any old thing. Like you knew June was coming. You knew June was coming. And you feel like just because you're a woman that you could just wear any old thing and it's cool. Some of y'all are coming out the house looking like hookers. Okay? Hookers. I don't know what's up. And then you get mad when brothers are looking at you like, what's up? What's up? What's up? Look, sister, you got to stop coming out there. Just because the sun is out, it does not mean that you could put on any old thing. And some of you sisters, too. I've looked at some of your feet in your sandals. And some of y'all, jeez, are you stopping cars with your feet? I'm just asking. Barney Rubble in the house. And you know what? Another thing on my way out. The Boot Up song by Ellie Maj. I need some of you all to stop. Stop right now singing your own renditions of Boot Up. I saw a video on Instagram. This woman was singing Boot Up. And she said, she's like, you got me boot up, boot up, boot up, boot up. And I was like, what version is this? We've got to stop. You know, that Explorer page is telling a lot of people's business. Anyway, brothers and sisters, the time is well spent. My mouth is getting dry. I need to go meditate. I thank you all for listening live to the Sister Speak show. Thank you for listening to the Laugh Line. If I said anything that offended you, you're on your own with that because I speak the truth. Until next time, you be encouraged, and I'll see you later. You be encouraged. Take care. I'll talk to you later.